I'm doing this video to celebrate with you the birthday of Lord Rama. Maybe people should understand what Rama represented, who he was, and how we have to know him as he truly was, and is, and will be. And there are three different Ramas. One is the Rama that everybody knows, who is the incarnation of Vishnu in the Treta Yuga. The story is very popular and everybody knows about this historical character of Rama as a god, as an avatar, with temples all around in India. Now, the second Rama is also the historical figure, but as told by Vasishtha, the guru of Rama. Okay. And there is a book called Yoga Vasishtha available in good English translation, published by the State University of New York Press. You can read that. And the third Rama is barely known to people. This is Rama who incarnated as a character called Ramtha, now being channeled by this woman, J.C. Knight. And I'm going to talk more about the Vasishtha's Rama and then the Rama when he came back as Ramtha. Now let's go to Vasishtha's Rama. Vasishtha's Rama, if you read Yoga Vasishtha, which you can see a different Rama who knew quantum physics, who knew quantum tunneling, quantum coherence, quantum entanglement, how you can be everywhere, and then also how you are both the particle, how at the quantum level, the particle and the wave exist interchangeably. And Vasishtha tells a number of stories, hundreds of stories, in order to explain the quantum physics as we know today, or even better. Because one of the theories of quantum physics is that there is nothing except what you intend to see, which is better expressed as the observer decides everything. The observed is the observer. The observer, which is you looking at things, decide the object. So the object is only the observer. This is a very well-known theory in quantum physics, but then it is very beautifully explained in all of the hundreds of stories that Rama, Vasishtha tells Rama, said, don't take all these things seriously. It is everything is as you see them. You collapse everything through your perception to material reality. This is what the stories are. There is a story of Leela where the Queen Leela is told that your husband is not dead. The king is not dead. You know, he lives in another space, and Saraswati takes her there. And then his previous life was a yogi in the Himalayas. He is still there, and you have with children still living there. It's also, unbelievable stories if you look at them as stories themselves, but then they can be very easily explained in terms of quantum tunneling, superpositioning, quantum coherence, and quantum entanglement. These are all very sophisticated theories of quantum physics. And then knowing them is really very important for us, because you can understand reality better when you read the Yoga Vasishtha, the stories that Vasishtha is telling Rama. The important thing is you have to know Rama as a scientist, a quantum physicist, a quantum biologist. Now the quantum biologist and also evolutionary biologist, there are Ramtha, the character who apparently lived 35,000 years ago and now being channeled by this woman, J.C. Knight, and is very well known all over the world, and she lives in the United States. Now I want to tell you what Ramtha was a warrior like Rama. And then how do we know this Ramtha was Rama? Because he himself says that I was born as Rama of the Hindus. And I became also Ramtha in another lifetime. He has had several lifetimes. Now, what is very interesting about Ramtha? Ramtha comes through this woman, J.C. Knight, and talks about science, biology, neuropsychology, and quantum physics as well. Now, he talks about Ramtha. This is Ramtha as channeled by J.C. Knight. Talks about how Jesus was able to make a blind person to see. This is Ramtha, which is Rama's avatar. And I'm going to read it from this book. See, this is a story, one of the anecdotes in Jesus' life. A blind person comes and Jesus picks up the clay and then spits on it. And then applies it on the blind eyes of this person, and then the person is able to see. Now, Ramtha explains this process not as just a miracle, act of miracle, but from the perspective of evolutionary biology. So I will read this. He bent over, picked up some clay, and he spat in it. What he was doing with the clay and his spit was creating a new biofield of particle relationship. When he did this and put it on the blind man's eyes, in molding the clay, Yeshua ben Joseph, that's Jesus, saw the perfect vision. As he was molding the clay became the catalyst for perfect vision. So what he's saying is, as he was putting the clay on the eyes of this guy, and then he saw the vision coming back. So everything is what happens in your mind. So this is called, When he put the clay on his eyes, that biofield or morphogenic field reconstructed immediately the visual nerve supply to the back of the brain, which is the occipital lobe, and he saw instantly. So the morphogenic field is Western biotechnology, you can call it evolutionary biology, and what it really means is the manifest and the unmanifest. The manifest comes from the unmanifest, the invisible. Everything is visible versus invisible. When in this case, Ramtha, who is Rama's avatar, according to this book, he was able to visualize that this vision is coming back to the eyes as using this biofield morphogenic technology. I'm going to take at least a few stories or few anecdotes that in the life of Rama, and while he was learning from his guru Vasishtha. There are hundreds of them, and I will select maybe a few, and then I will talk about them. It's important to know that the teachings of Rama have to be made relevant to our own times. I think young people would be very interested to know the quantum physics behind Yoga Vasishtha and also Ramtha as channeled by J.C. Knight. God bless.